Start my recording before I continue. Alright. As light rain falls without reason, Chapter 4, Act 2 of the Archon quest, getting started now. Indeed, the druid is so much fun. I need to get a lot more XP on him. I keep on forgetting to put him in. We are going back to our Archon quest team here, optimized for Fontaine here. I've heard that Tartaglia here gets thrown in prison, so I'm really excited for that. It'll be a blast. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. This will be fun.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh, everything looks so good. People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
Heck yeah, we did. Certainly worth celebrating.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
You haven't even started eating
You had to order even more food.
what you have on the table there.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Yeah, that was a
Right? Yet it was because this was
That was
such
a wild scene.
preposterous notion that the investigation could
I
never
understood
really
that
move
reference.
forward before.
fellow Zappire.
If only that guy could have finished speaking. We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
Paimon has no understanding of literary tropes.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct.
Dang.
It's not that I
She's
don't
just
have
saying it
faith
like
in
it
their
is.
ability. It's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why they
Highfalutin.
exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
I love it.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
You always do.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
Well, you know, we did want to ask the Hydra Archon for some information, but we haven't had much opportunity to do so.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
You didn't want to go ask the opposing counsel for anything?
So, your
That's
primary
crazy.
objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while.
No,
considering
technically
that
we
you
were
missed
the
your
lawyer,
chance
but
today.
Paimon did a lot of the talking, you know?
We've heard that she's super
'Cause that's what
popular
she
here in
does.
Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
you consider some more, unique ways?
I mean, the best way is to
Perhaps
just
even
do
methods
something
of,
illegal and then go to trial
let's say,
again, right?
questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you.
Well, the judge was
Chock
more mad at the
full of
Hydro
sketchy
Archon than at
ideas.
us.
Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way
The
would
Chief
be to infiltrate a
Justice,
performance troupe
Nebula.
at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
What a wild way to
Could you
get
suggest
somebody's
something
attention.
A little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
Alright, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers.
Demand your
Don't let
answers.
her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
Okay.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Ah, valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
How can you overlook something like that? That's like a basic level of understanding, right?
All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing
Defeat?
citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally.
Nearly.
I imagine
She was
she
the
feels
opposing
quite
counsel.
ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
Can she feel shame?
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Huh?
This person
Hold
being
on,
Taylor
did
Swift
you
here,
drink my
Navia.
Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention. and the cup was
It
right
is
next to
very much so
Paimon.
next to Paimon.
Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fonta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
My drink also tasted that way too.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Incredible.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia.
Taylor Swift got our backs. She's paying for our meal.
Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try floating a little lower.
Can't you see Paimon's barely an inch off the ground?
Miss, you are like 2 feet tall, and you are looking me dead in the eye.
As for expenses this month, we're left with... Huh.
Hey, Navia, what are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Seems that was pretty tough for her. That was a pretty pricey meal, all thanks to Paimon. Yeah, no, the dialogue is sometimes wild. I hope that it would be better in the original language, but like, I don't know. Ragging on Paimon, but I thought Taylor Swift was rich. She got all that Eras Tour money.
Try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia.
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya.
Alrighty. Started. Let's go. Ooh. I love jumping off of tall buildings in game, not IRL, just in game. Ooh, you can see inside. Can't shoot inside though. Tragic.
Swollen Fury.
I can put my head inside. Ha ha ha. Dang it. Alright, let's go.
Behold.
That guy's from Mondstadt. Oh, and that lady's from Inazuma. What are they doing here? Oh, before I start this, I need to go to the Steam Bird. Let's hear what the Steam Bird has to say. Sir Arthur, Lady Farina will personally attend a clock exhibition and admire both the latest and greatest machines. Oh. What? Please be aware of the baseless rumors that the construction of the Limadouche Harbor Line will start soon. Extra, extra, Monteverdi's famous opera. We'll be showing the opera Epiclese once more. Renowned actor team up of Frederick the Quicksilver and Montserrat Caval will be returning. All citizens, please be aware. Yeah, we read that one. We read that one too. No, did I miss it? Zaha Hadid, the renowned architect from Sumeru, will soon conduct a new concept construction exhibition. I want to read the one about... Want to learn the secret behind Fontaine's fish and chips and its delicious flavor? Visit Haynes Food Factory on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday to explore the long history of our local felicitous flavors. Okay, I'm just doing one more. Recently, Francis the Blue Moon has once more denied any accusations of nepotistic relations with the Borgia family. I don't know what you're asking about. There's no such thing as a mafia in Fontaine. Oh, goodness. Okay, that was good enough. But I'll keep on going. The philanthropist Gardon sues children under 12 in his care for taking up dangerous work without authorization. He demands compensation for all illegal wages and economic losses. What? This case may come down to a duel between duelists? And the 20 redundant departments formerly belonging to the Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering have been abolished. Expert claims that this will speed the rebuilding process up by 30 years. Okay. I didn't hear what Lady Farina was gonna do because I had that still on auto. That's unfortunate. But something about clocks. Let's go check it out.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Oh, is that so?
Vacher.
It said it again.
Looks like we're back here again.
Vacher.
Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
It's clearer than it was during the day.
That's kind of spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vacher? Vacher.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I can feel strong emotions. Things are getting a little blurry.
Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. It's calling for Vacher, right?
Vacher.
Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
What happened? Why did we walk into the pool? Not just a French person, a French serial killer, according to my wife. Where is this?
Vacher. Are you my dear Vacher? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vacher? Do you know where my love is?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Wait.
I love the question mark in their title.
I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
You fear? What is there to be
memories
afraid
feel
of?
Like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered.
Never to be recovered.
How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who has lost their form.
You lost your form?
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Could that have been the primordial water? Could she be one of the girls who was dissolved?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril.
It's not an
No matter
Oceanid.
where I went, Vacher would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
Dang. So you need me to find him?
No. Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories.
Oof.
The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters.
Dang, a poet.
If you meet Vacher, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it will be hard for him to forget you. We know nothing about these people. What is that supposed to mean?
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vacher above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
Vacher was a witness to the fact that you dissolved.
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface.
Well, that is not what we witnessed. That guy was pretty
I
upset.
could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
What is this? Seems that after the body is dissolved, some measure of the consciousness still remains.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Ah, is that Paimon? Ah, yes, right. I wonder how much time has passed in reality.
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vacher, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
I will find him, and I will tell him. But you have probably been... I guess not really dead? Something else? I don't know. For a while. Oh, bro. We're fighting now? Oh, okay, well. Get it! May lose. Or whatever her name is. We've got this. We can solo all of these people.
It's a whole army of Gardamex.
A whole army of Gardamex. Clorinde.
Clorinde?
She's helping. She can solo these. Oh, well, I guess they're facing away from her. Well, now they're facing her. But we've got this. This should be pretty easy.
Now's our chance!
Oh, okay. To be fair, she is a champion duelist. And she has a gun. Dang, she shot that bullet out of the air. And Navia's got her back. What a good team up. Roger, Roger, indeed. This is Obi-Wan and Anakin hanging out. What was that look? Yeah, there are
I
some
should
moments in
thank
this
you
game
for
that are really
lending us your
nice.
sword there, Clorand.
Clorand.
Before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
What
I
an she
believe that
voice.
following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Get him!
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary
I love
emotional
Melus.
harm.
Sorry, I did not consider
He's
his
so
needs.
French.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I'm gonna pause it really quick because I'm probably gonna pull for Navia because I like new Geo characters. They're fun. Depends on her kit. But if the only way that Genshin is going to get me to spend money on its game is if her C6 or any of her constellations allow you to just have Silver and Melus just follow her around. They don't even have to do anything. They could just be present on the field and like occasionally talk to me, and I would 100% get her up to C6 or whatever constellation it would be to get those two to just hang out with me. That would be incredible. I love these two so much. Anyway, continuing on, why is Paimon turned
I
around?
doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand.
We're still struggling.
But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
Who was that? What just happened?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, so you're a fighter now, Paimon. Thanks for the rescue, Navia.
Come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow?
Paimon did something?
Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fonta tasted kind of salty and icky.
I thought it tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure. Wait, do you mean that?
Fonta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fonta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Dang. Good job,
Yes.
Paimon. You saved Navia's
So
life.
if you hadn't drunk that cup for me,
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine. Otherwise, we would have been.
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But
Killed.
whoever did this left no trace at all.
That's crazy.
That's
I
when
never would have
figured
guessed.
out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Paimon, you should really expect this by this point.
You did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process.
True.
Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she heard that voice calling for Vache again.
Okay, and Paimon heard it this time too. So is that because she drank the water? In which case, would we have potentially been exposed to it before coming to the fountain the first time?
Oh,
Or
and
are
the
we
third
just special
time I heard it
because
too. Wait,
we're just that cool?
It was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
The ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element, according to
Does
Lynette.
that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
Quite
That
potentially.
doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I've also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
To one of the missing women, a person named Vache was a witness when she was dissolved.
That is important.
You tell everyone about what happened while you were connected to the Oceanid's consciousness.
That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive, we should try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
All right, partner. Or by we, you mean us too, right?
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
This will prove to be their biggest mistake. Which is very true. We are the main character.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much.
No, he does not. He does not talk
In that
enough.
case,
I need
let's
that
head
voice
back
in
to
my
one of our
life.
bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll
Bonds.
take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Our base is definitely secure. Goodbye. Oh, they are very fun and very crazy. Enjoy your evening.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
Yeah,
I've
because
been
we don't
keeping
look
watch,
suspicious at
Demoiselle.
all.
I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Y'all are the suspicious
Very
ones.
good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now,
Malus.
let's continue, Traveler.
Into the sewers I go. So my wife gave me a funny look whenever I asked her if she had been in the sewers, because you have to go into the sewers. It's part of the quest.
Too slow.
I don't see anything of use. A dog! Pet the dog. Pet the dog.
Bring it on.
Goodbye, dog. Oh, I'm on the other side. Or I'm on a different level? No, okay. A loose. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Maloose.
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Oh, how
Seems
kind.
like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father, he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
It sure does seem odd. Do you have any clues as to why? Like maybe a conspiracy against him?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth.
I admire that commitment.
If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. You know, We're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case.
All it took
he
is
dubbed
just
Callus the Unfaithful.
one little murder case,
Even
you know?
our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
Ooh.
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
Yikes.
But how could... Never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Oh,
Could have seen that one coming.
her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
Kind of. The rules of champion duelists are a little bit different, Paimon, but I'll go for it. No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
That's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
I mean, Clarion has probably
Ms.
killed a bunch of
Clorand
people.
has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel.
Exactly.
If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
And that indicates that he did intend to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me?
They respected
Alright,
each other.
Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. Everyone's eat.
Big yawn.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
Thank you, Silver. Rest in my room. I will go into my room. Hello, Silver.
Whether it be responsibility for Spina di Rosula or Master Callus's death, it all landed on Demoiselle's shoulders so suddenly. This won't do. I must become stronger.
I must be stronger. Time to be strong. Best time. A peaceful night passes under the Spina di Rosula's protection.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe. Huh? Navia? Where did the other two
The other two? That
None
is
sent them back
Melus
to
and
Whistle.
Silver.
It's Spina de Rosula's
Whistle.
place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
No, they're so
It's
much
the feeling
fun.
that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
No sleep.
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
You know who else was wiped from
I
existence?
suspect that those
Scaramouche.
scientists have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
Does
if you make that logical jump.
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten.
You were
No
there
matter
being
how much they
honest, I
wanted to.
think.
And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the
Ooh.
Oceanid you met is one of the young
hate that
women
it's
who went
pronounced
missing
Oceanid.
recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go
Work
talk
hard.
to him, shall we?
Ooh.
Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Let's go. Alright.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
I will come in as Tartaglia because I am ready to fight. Ah, I was assuming we were going to go into a cutscene. Okay, that's just a door. I look at the books, oh. I need a bookshelf like this. Or I have to climb a ladder to get up to it. Hang on, I want to go up there. Yee! I want to move any farther. Whatever. Point. How do we know where it is?
Please state your business here.
Halt.
Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Official matters.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Anyone can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy. So please
that
say
some
if
is
you
me.
don't have a reason to be
Just
here.
kidding, I've been so busy this week.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
The Steambird.
You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Ah, thanks so much.
The Chief Justice is just inside. What a weird time. Anyway. Gestionnaire. I'm guessing that I can come back in here, so I'm not going to talk to them right now. So I do have a few other pressing matters. But I will grab this book. Hey, that's another achievement in the books. Knock on door.
Please come in.
I love his voice too.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
That's it, just, it's alright.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
No questions asked, just doing things, you know? Hanging out, walking slow, living his best life.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
So we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Allow me to take my leave.
Ahem.
You clearly want something from her, right?
Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Ooh.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
Yikes.
If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die? Despised and hated by all.
Oh my
Everything
gosh.
was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
Dang.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Let's go.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're
I wish it
right.
was raining here.
Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the
Wait,
day my father
the
was
Hydra.
convicted of murder, it was also raining.
The Hydro Dragon cries and then it starts to rain and we just screamed into Violette. And now it's raining.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That
Not
thought has
quite.
occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We should go while the idea is still fresh, or you can go first. I'll join you later. I'll go ahead and fast travel. We should go while the idea is still
Great.
fresh.
Let's go then.
Poisson. Where am I? Oh, nice. We got a teleporter up here. This will be useful. I mean, I guess it's kind of down over there. It's up there. You go get it.
Behold!
Come on, fine. Ooh, that was spooky.
The wind rises.
The wind sure does rise. What an astute observation. Violette, is that you? Where dark tides echo.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Of course.
My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Talk to Loose on the ship. Oh. Can I get that? I would have to dive. But I can dive. Oh no. There we go. I will return to this place. Can Traveler jump? Yeah, she can.
Behold!
Melus.
Hello there, Melus. Melus.
Melus, we're
His
back.
mustache. His hat. His tie.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Drugs?
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Don't do drugs, kids.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation.
As you would expect.
Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques.
Sure.
He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse.
Jean
That
Valjean.
night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced
A
to the
gun?
scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with Jacques, but it's also possible that the third person was to
Right.
blame.
We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful
Infinitely.
for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as you're and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself.
Dang.
Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end?
Huh?
Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed.
Yikes.
Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, Demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
Until today.
No, I
Yesterday,
don't believe
I guess.
It. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
Wow.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
Well, Paimon, you and I
You
can.
mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability,
Don't say that about
I've
yourself,
spent my
Malus.
time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. The boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Melus. You really are the best.
Heck
A
yeah,
new
he
case
is.
awaits, my dear partner.
Alright, leave it to me. Let's
I
go.
hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Palace's case records. 3 years ago, on a rainy night, banquet goers heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callus had a gun in his hands, and Jacques had been shot and slain. Based on the investigations done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callus was thus adjudged to have been the culprit.
The wind rises.
I think I can keep going. I think I have a bit more time.
It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Melus.
Loose.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
Let's not bother her for now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mura and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
Wow.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you, and to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callus came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Wait, does that mean that someone ordered Jacques to take out Callus?
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
See, like,
Then you
it's
should hold
changed
on
so
to that.
fast.
If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword. He must have done so to give you a better life.
Oh,
That means nothing.
For everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not something I'm willing to just sit back and accept.
What a weird time for the music to just kick back in.
I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Testimony from Jacques' family. Jacques' family believes that he had struggled greatly with the order to kill Callus. Did Callus act in self-defense, or was there more to the incident? Tartaglia, now is not the time. Talk to Flora.
are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
I wasn't. Flora?
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance
How
today?
may I be of assistance
I'm sure you've
today?
heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table.
As you do,
After
as you
that,
do.
he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene.
Huh.
But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a 3rd person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible. Very possible indeed.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a 3rd person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts? After seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
Dang.
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then, I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed.
3.
But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
So, like, okay. Information regarding Floren. Floren, the advisor to the Spina di Rosula, claimed that he was very grateful to Callus for his kindness. He was also present at the banquet on the day of the case and can provide evidence that Callus did not carry a gun with him when he went out. Okay, so like, we suspect him, right? We are concerned about his ties, potentially. Pet the dog, pet the dog. So why did we tell him that Malus told us these things? And why did Malus not tell us the actual location of the place, right? Like, because what happens if Malus dies now? I will be devastated, first of all, if Malus dies. Secondly, we would just have lost our information. Unless Silver knows, potentially, but I will have to investigate that. And I just have to, at present, hope that that does not happen. No, I've still got a few more minutes. So I will continue to talk to people. Thierry.
Hey, Thierry. It's
Thierry.
me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you, hypothetically, wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Oh my gosh.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
We didn't say anything about the synth business. But we'll just move on. Makes sense.
Oh. Then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Accusatory point.
Oh, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Sounds good. Information regarding Thierry. Thierry is the person responsible for official contact between Spina di Rosula and the guards. According to him, only the sufficiently rich can privately own large numbers of Gardamex. And Marcel.
Squall Fury! Behold!
I will finish this up, and then I will have to eat dinner.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
After waiting for a while, Marcel arrives in a hurry.
Hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
He's acting suspiciously.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery?
A murder
I also
mystery.
witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Again, it's just because we're the main character.
Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama. and
R.I.P.
theatrics.
France. Getting
Uncle
attacked.
Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly.
The dog.
I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
It's definitely
We were
suspicious.
attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Amen.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly.
Out and about.
I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
A gunshot?
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Information regarding Marcel. Marcel is the leader of the Confrérie of Cabrera and was the organizer of the banquet years prior. The Confrérie and the Spina di Rosula have always maintained a close working relationship. Though his recollection of the events of the case is quite foggy, he is willing to defend Navia.
Alas, why do these kinds of things happen to the kindest people?
Alrighty. Go over the clues of Navia. I will have to do that upon my return.
Too slow.
Tomorrow evening, more than likely, I will get some Fanta. Hopefully without anything in it. Fermented juice. Everything else looks fine, yeah. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Sorry to YouTube for having to split this up into 2 parts. Just gotta try to complete it before Saturday, but hopefully I'll be able to get all of the rest of it in my next stream or video or whatever, however it is that you're watching it. It's been a blast. I have really enjoyed 4.0 so far, and I'm excited for the event to start as well. I'll be able to do a lot of that next week, so be sure to catch my streams. It'll be a good time, and I will see you all later.